So, if it wasn't obvious from the last time we did this, I am a very big fan of DIY. I get kind of bored with my clothes sometimes. I am a very big proponent of making unneeded alterations just to show that something is mine because it's fun and I'm crazy. And I have this like random black t-shirt that's been hanging out in my closet because I bought it for something and then ended up not needing it. So it's just hanging there. And I have had a vision. Don't know how well it's going to work yet, but we're going to figure it out. All right, so what could I possibly be doing with just a plain black t-shirt? So, as you can see, I've already cut all the tags out of it because none of my clothing has tags in it because tags are evil. So that's already one little alteration. I have an idea. So I have several fonts for this that I'm thinking of, but my mom has a Cricut, and so we're going to try to cut out a graphic for the front of it. And I decided I wanted to make a space-themed t-shirt with a lyric from the Chappell Roan song Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl, where it says, "We're leaving the planet and you can't come." I think it's fun, and I think it would be fun if this was space-themed. So I think, right now in the planning stage, crazy idea, I'm going to crop it, and then with the material that I cut off from the bottom, I'm going to try to make like a ruffle thing and embroider it, and I might embroider the sleeves, but then I also might just cut the sleeves off. We don't know. We're just seeing where this is gonna go. And hopefully it's something wearable. And maybe I'll wear it to Colossal Con if I get to go to Colossal Con. So keep an eye out on this shirt. If it goes well, I'll wear it. If it doesn't, it's just gonna go back in the back of my closet and disappear. So this is kind of what we're working with as a start. It's just a plain black t-shirt and it's really fucking boring. So the idea, if you'll bear with me, I don't know if I want to keep the sleeves or not, but for right now we're going to act like we're keeping the sleeves. So I want to do some kind of embroidery on the sleeve. I'm thinking like a planet on this side and then maybe some kind of like sunburst star thing. And maybe I might embroider like stars around the cuff. If I don't cut them off, I'm at least going to make them shorter because they're a little bit baggy right now and I don't know if I like it. And as for the crop, I have a vision. I don't know if it's actually going to work. Maybe. So I want to crop it to about like there. Normal. Like just crop the shirt, and then with the material that's been cut off, my plan is to unpick the hem right here so that you've got a little bit of extra. It'll give you like an inch or so to work with-ish. Unpick that and then iron it so it's flat. And then I'm going to fold that fabric in half, cut it, and then sew it together and ruffle it. And hopefully that'll give us enough material to actually make like a pretty good ruffle to go around there. So I don't usually wear a lot of cropped things, but I'm kind of into it and I kind of want to try it. So I don't want to go full crop right off the bat. And I'm thinking that like with the ruffle, it'll still be kind of like loose and breezy and fun for summer, but it's not just going full crop top because I'm not exactly comfortable with that. So we're going to experiment and see. And then on the bottom of the ruffle, I'm going to try to embroider the same stars that I was going to do on the cuffs. I don't know if any of this is going to work. I may scrap the entire thing and start from scratch and do something else, and this may just end up as scrap material, so we'll see. As you can see here, I've already got a little bit of a test swatch going. I was trying to figure out, before I started on the actual garment, what I wanted to do with the embroidery down along the bottom, so I did two different versions. Disclaimer, I was never taught how to embroider things, so I know for a fact that my tension on my hoop right here is probably not correct. And it took me a little bit. As you can see here, some of my stars do not necessarily look the greatest, and it took me a couple passes to get what I actually wanted, so I think I'm going to stick with this pattern right here. And obviously I am not going to be using this color combination. I used some blue scrap fabric that I have, and I'm using yellow and orange embroidery floss to practice so I can see my stitches and like make sure I know what I'm doing before I potentially ruin the thing that I'm actually working on. For the actual project, I'm going to be using this like silvery embroidery floss on the bottom of that black t-shirt. So here in a second, I'm going to show you how I did this, and then I might practice my satin stitch a little bit because there's a section that I want to do like a little satin stitch patch on. So we'll see how this goes. So as you can see, I'm doing like this little star pattern and then a French knot and then this like sunburst, another French knot and then the star, and it's going to continue across the bottom of the t-shirt, hopefully. And also the difference between this row and this row, other than me trying to do this behind the camera, not looking at it, is this row is half the width of this one, so I actually split my embroidery floss for this one, so it's only three strands instead of the 6 that this one is. I can't decide which one I like better. For material conservation wise, splitting it would probably be a good idea just because it will give me more thread to work with overall, and I don't know how much this is going to take to complete, but the look of it, I kind of like the thicker stitch better. I didn't think I was going to, so we may end up going with the thicker stitch. Now we have the shirt all pinned out. Hopefully this line is straight because I'm only cutting this once and I only have one of these. So if I mess this up, I guess it's going to be crooked. So to recap, we're going to cut along this line right here, and then this bottom part is going to become the ruffle for the bottom of the shirt. So I've never done this. This is all in my head. We'll see how this goes. About as well as can be expected. So, quick next steps. We now have our shirt cropped off. It is quite short. I've never worn a crop top before. So that is done. We can set that aside for right now. And the next part of our project is going to be involving the excess fabric from the bottom. So my next step, I think, is going to be unpick this hem right here because I want as much length as I can possibly work with for this ruffle, just because I think it's going to lay better if it's a little bit longer, and then we still have to re-hem our ruffle after we cut it. So my next thing, I'm going to cut this in half so that this is 2, split it down the side, and then I will begin working on unpicking this seam, which is going to take me quite a bit and it will hurt my fingers, but it is worth it. Woo! Note, I messed up the steps. I'm going to unpick the seam and then I'm going to split it because my brain did not compute that that would add an extra inch, so one of them would be longer than the other. So I'm going to unpick this first and then I'll cut it. Alright, so quick update as we're entering the home stretch of this project. I have my awesome graphic done, courtesy of my mother. So we have that on the little crop shirt, and then after so many hours and so many finger sticks, I have embroidered the bottom of the shirt, and I'm getting ready to make the ruffle. So that is the last thing. I'm going to ruffle this and attach it to the bottom of the shirt, and then I have made a crop top. And after taking far longer than I thought it was going to take to make this, we finally have the finished product. It is a t-shirt. It's not perfect, definitely, but I made it and I like it and I think it's very cool. So we have the graphic that my mom and I made. I did the lettering for it and then she helped me print it out and we put it on with the Cricut as you saw us peeling off the little transfer thing. And then this is the ruffle that I made with all of the hand embroidered stars along the bottom. And I think it turned out pretty dang cool. Now, the reason for making this shirt, unfortunately, despite the lyrics on the graphic, I do not have a Chapel Roan concert to go to because I couldn't get tickets. But I am going to be wearing this shirt to Colossal Con this weekend. Yes, this coming weekend. We have panels Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so if you are at Colossal Con in Ohio this weekend, come see us in person. We would love to see people show up at our panels, and it is going to be a very good time, I can assure you. And with that, I am officially deeming this project a success. I think this looks pretty freaking sick. So I'm gonna go have fun in my new shirt, and maybe we'll see you next week at a Colossal Con.